Hello, my name is Karim and I'm a community ambassador for Haas Online, and I am back with part 2 of how to convert PineScript to HaasScript. In the first video we have looked at the big picture, the overall process of conversion, and now we'll go into details and see some common elements of PineScript. There are many things and we can go through each one, but we'll cover those that can give some trouble during conversion, especially if you aren't familiar with either language. I'll try to be concise, but also somewhat descriptive from both points of view, so it's hopefully understandable both to those who know HaasScript but do not know PineScript and vice versa. Every PineScript has a study or strategy line at the start, usually right after the version declaration line. In HaasScript we don't need those, nor anything similar, we just delete or comment them out. Also in HaasScript every script is a strategy and a study at the same time. You can have alerts and traits happening live from this exact same code that you just backtested. Let's start with the NZ function. NZ stands for not a number to 0. As the name suggests, it replaces NaN values with 0 or another user-defined value. It's commonly used in scripts that store a value between update cycles. Since you referred to x from the previous cycle, on the very first run of the script, the x square brackets 1 will not exist, it will be nil. In HCS there are multiple ways to go about it, but it's best replaced by a pair of functions called load and save. To convert NZ, replace the function with load function and add the quotes around the first argument. This is now a string key, which the bot will store in the memory and leave the second argument as is. It does the same thing as in the NZ function. Then, at the end of the script, we save the value and give it a string key. The string keys can be anything, but for clarity let's keep them the same. In Pine, if you use keyword var when initializing a variable, its value is then automatically retained in the memory and does not refresh every update cycle, unless it's reassigned in an if-then statement. Interestingly, in HaasScript all variables that are not local are treated this way. In theory, you don't even need to use load and save functions for scripts that are made in the script editor. Once you assign a value to a variable, it will keep it and can be accessed many update cycles later. However, with rising popularity of visual HaasScript, which only accepts local variables, it's best to use load and save pair on var variables for the likely chance that you would want to convert your code to a command later. So it's a good practice. We will add load function wherever we see var keyword and add a save function at the end of the script. In the similar places where you can see var keyword, you can also sometimes see words like int, float, bool, color, string, line, label as a separate word before a variable. They serve to clarify the type of variable. In HaasScript there is no need to declare a variable like this, it automatically detects the type of the variable from the value that it is assigned. Additionally, it is possible to change the variable type after initializing it simply by assigning it a value of a different type. It makes it much easier to write scripts without worrying about the types, but it can also make debugging trickier if a sneaky type error sneaks in. But in about 2 years of using HaasScript, I have not gotten such an issue. So if you have these keywords in front of variables, simply delete them, otherwise HaasScript won't compile your code. Concatenation. In PineScript, concatenation is done with a plus sign, while in HaasScript it's 2 dots. You can control F plus sign inside quotation marks, then check line by line that all the occurrences are indeed concatenations and press Ctrl F2 and replace with double dots inside a quotation marks. Colon equals sign. In PineScript, when you initialize a variable, i.e. assign a value to it for the first time, you use an equal sign. Then, if you want to assign a different value to that same variable, somewhere down the lines, it is required to use a colon equals sign. In HaasScript, there is no such division. Every time you want to assign a variable a new value, you use the equal sign symbol. So you can Ctrl F colon equals sign, select it and press Ctrl F2 or right click, replace all occurrences, then replace that with an equal sign. In the previous video I showed how we can convert a one-liner IFF by using HaasScript if-then one-liner with the words and or. Turns out that there is a function that makes the conversion even easier. Simply replace the word IFF with if-else function in HaasScript, keeping the arguments inside the parentheses the same way. Colon question mark. This is another type of if-then one-liner in PineScript. Here's where HaasScript's and or one-liner comes in handy. To convert colon question mark, simply replace colon with the word and then replace question mark with the word or. If. In PineScript, the if-then statement structure is defined by the word if and the indented lines that follow it. It ends when there is a first non-indented line. In HaasScript, indentation does not play any role and can be changed any way you want for visual clarity and comfort. Instead, the end of the if-then statement is explicitly stated by the word end. To convert an if-then structure, we add the word then to finish the if line and add the word end after the last indented line. Sometimes there are also else if and else sections. They work the same way in HaasScript. The only thing to remember is to add the word then at the end of else if line. PineScript also often uses variable equals to if structure. It's a form of the if-then structure where a variable is declared right before the word if. In this case, it will be assigned value on the last indented line. To convert to HaasScript, cut the variable equals part before the if and paste it at the start of the last indented line, and then add then and end like we did before. If you have else if or else sections here, also paste the variable equals part to the last indented lines of those sections.